Estamos con Shari Levitin, que es una de las speakers, una de las expositoras en este octavo foro de marketing y ventas. Shari, welcome to Los Cabos. Is this your first time here?
Oh my goodness, I love Cabo. It's my favorite place in Mexico. So
tell us something about your exposure today, tonight.
Well, what we're going to talk about is this need to rehumanize the sales process. We're in a world of Alexa and ChatGPT and all this technology, but what we need to do today in sales is we need to do everything Alexa can't do. And what that means is we need to get back to really connecting to another human being, to asking questions that get to the heart of why someone would buy, the emotion. We need to listen. Alexa can never listen. Alexa can talk, but she can't listen to the emotions behind the words. And then we need to link it to a brighter future of spending more time in Cabo San Lucas. Every family would love to be able to own a piece of Cabo San Lucas. What could be better?
As you say, we are in these times with Alexa and with AI and all these things. How much are changing in the salespeople, these elements, these technologies?
How much have their salespeople?
How are they changing their way to sell, the way they approach? Because the human contact is very important. I think it's missing because now it's robots and you talk with machines.
It's so true. And one of the things that we know is as technology use increases, empathy in first-generation smartphone users has decreased, right? The very skill we need to build connection. I have a 19-year-old, and they don't answer the phone anymore. They just text, right? And he wanted to break up with his girlfriend with an emoji. I told him he couldn't do that. So it's really about getting back to that human-to-human interaction, being transparent, telling the truth. I tell salespeople all the time, tell your customers what your product won't do so they'll believe what it will do. We're in a time where people think all the news is fake news because of social media. People don't trust each other. I'm from the States, let me tell you, in the States right now, nobody trusts anybody, particularly politicians and salespeople. So really, what we need to do is build a connection, tell them the negative about the product so they'll believe the positive.
How important is to have more culture? Because nowadays there's a lack of knowledge in general. How important is for a salesperson to be a general culture, at least a minimum culture?
Well, I don't know that a salesperson necessarily has to have all of the knowledge, because a lot of them can't. Maybe they can't afford to leave Mexico and to travel to all the places that they're selling. In fact, one of the things we're going to do tonight is we're going to talk about what's more important if you had to choose: empathy, knowing your customer, or competency, knowing your product. And you're going to see in this room, it's going to be right down the middle. And some people are going to say, well, you got to know your product, you got to know how the points work, you got to know this, and then half the room will say empathy. Now you need both. You need your culture, you need your knowledge, you need to know about the world, but you also need to know your customer. And if I had to choose one, I would choose knowing my customer, because I can always ask a manager or somebody else about the knowledge or the culture. But I will say, I think what sellers should do is they've got to be students of life and they have to be curious. And it's not enough to, watch reality TV shows and read People magazine. The more you know about the world and the more you know about life and different aspects of life, the more different types of people you can connect with.
Finally, because I know that you are about to present your lecture, tell us something about your background. How did you become like you are now?
Well, when I was 22 years old, I took a year off of college in Colorado, and I answered an ad in the paper, and it was to be an OPC. So I started as an OPC before there were laws. I actually used to roller skate around the park and invite people to take a tour. And I loved it. I didn't know there was a career where I could meet all different people.
And even you write books. And
Yes, and I had great mentors. I got into timeshare, I'm going to date myself, 40 years ago, and I loved it. I loved talking to all different types of people from all different walks of life, and I made a great living, met wonderful people, met mentors. But I will tell you, when people ask what's the key to my success, I was always learning and always coachable, and I'm still always learning and always willing to learn from everybody around me, and that's the key to life.
that's great. Congratulations, and
Thank
thank
you.
you very much for giving us your time.
Thank you
A
so
little bit
much.
of your time. Thank you very nice.
Thank you for having
Bye-bye.
me in your
Oh.
beautiful Cabo San Lucas.
Our pleasure.